Hola! Okay, let's try this again. Let me reiterate real quickly. So I played played this somewhat, recorded about 25 minute episodes of this game and pushed them up on YouTube. And then, like is my habit, I moved on to something else, and I constantly am doing that. Yeah, I'm going to try to pick this up. It's going to be a little slow to start with. In fact, it may be just slow the whole time. The reason I've decided to pick this up is Kikaskia recently started posting videos of the Baldur's Gate re-release. There's another name for it, but you know what I'm talking about. And then after kind of catching up with that, I was also checked out My Name Is Not Lily, his 2 or 3 year old Let's Play of Baldur's Gate. The first thing I think he posted to YouTube. I'm not very far into that, 10 or 20 episodes or something. They're quite short episodes, maybe a little further than that. But anyway, that inspired me to give this game another try. Don't know how long I'll stream here. This does require quite a bit of reading. It's not to everyone's taste because of that, but I'm an avid reader, so... Well, anyway, let's resume. The question is whether I can... is this all the save game slots? Okay, no, there's more, but these are the most recent ones. Let's load it up and see what's going on here. I'm wondering if I've made proper decisions in the past or not. There's no limit to what I have forgotten about this game. Well, there's Rest, Mage Spellbook. Do we have any spells? Seemingly not. Map screen, okay. Inventory screen. Mort's Bite. We have some bandages. We have 24 of 29 hit points. We have a receiving room logbook. Probably read this in a previous episode, but I'm going to read it again because I just don't remember. Receiving room logbook. This huge logbook lists mortuary procedures in a tight crabbed script. All shells entering the mortuary are to be delivered to the receiving room and logged with the scribe on duty before being embalmed or cremated. The records, let's see, I'm trying to use the scroll wheel there, that's not going to work. The records are to be checked to determine if the shell is one of the contracted, and if so, do not prepare the shell. Move the shell to one of the preparation rooms, contact the scribe on duty, and notify him that a contracted shell is to be raised. Be certain that a shell is thoroughly stripped of its possessions before being sent to the preparation rooms. The contracted workers are intended for simple manual labor and do not have the capacity to search and strip a shell. The faction is not responsible for any possessions lost or items stolen by the collectors who have brought the shells to the mortuary. The shell's possessions are to be stored in the receiving room until an initiate can be sent to claim them. Please catalog all possessions in the logbook. Following this list is thousands of entries of bodies that have been sent to the receiving room. As you flip through the rest of the book, however, you notice the last page has been cut out. Shells. Is that like the dead bodies missing, souls or something like that? Contracted. Is that what I said? Contracted? Preparation capitalized. Okay, we have a jar of embalming fluid. We have a charcoal charm. Plus 50% resistance to fire, plus 25 resistance to magical fire. This piece of charcoal is a charred bone fragment of some creature, perhaps a finger bone or a talon. Various symbols have been scratched onto its surface. The scratchings are so faint you almost miss them. This charcoal charm temporarily protects the user against flames and extreme heat. To use the charm, the charred bone is snapped and both halves are ground to powder. Then the charcoal dust is rubbed over the heart of the user. So, one-time use item, presumably. Junk. Wooden club. We're wielding a scalpel, jagged knife, and an iron crowbar, and fist irons. I wonder how we change 1 to 6 crushing, 1 to 3 slashing, 1 to 3 piercing, 2 to 4 crushing. I guess I'm wielding the pry bar at this point. We have a clot charm. This glistening blood drop is as hard and smooth as a pearl. When placed on the tongue, it dissolves instantly and spreads through the character's bloodstream. Okay. The stream stimulates the user's blood into clotting and scabbing over existing wounds. Sorry, adjusting my headset there. Over existing wounds, healing any minor damage the user may have suffered before consuming the charm. Simulates the user's blood into clotting and scabbing. Okay, so it heals wounds, it sounds like. Furthermore, as long as the charm is in effect, the player's blood becomes more aware of new wounds that occur, especially any attacks that draw blood. The charmed individual becomes more resistant to slashing and piercing attacks as their blood clots and scabs over the wound as soon as the flesh is torn. So again, a one-use item, but it has a lasting effect. Does it say how long? Heals 9 hit points. Doesn't say how long. And it's that the numbers are not all that significant. 1 to 6 crushing. 1 to 6 crushing. Okay, and Dustman requests a note written on a scrap of dry parchment. Contact the necromancer responsible for raising contractual worker 42. I know he's examined the skeleton before, but I am certain the initial raising of the body was warped. Sorry, I just ate some popcorn. I think I have a little bit of shell stuck in my tooth there. But I am certain the initial raising of the body was warped. The worker still responds to commands, but when it has completed a task, it resumes pacing in the same circular fashion as it did before. Dahl recently informed me that Worker 42 exhibited that same walking pattern when it was a zombie decades ago. Zombie decades ago. There may be a soul echo in the marrow, or the skeleton's age may have caused the magic animating him to decay. One of the initiates suggested it may be following an order issued by a higher-ranking dustman in the past, but I found no records of such an order. Whatever the reason for its behavior, the matter is to be resolved or the worker replaced. That was 42. Contractual worker 42. We have 46 gold. Thought I heard a sound there. Guess we have 10 armor class. We have an eyeball. This is your eye, okay. I only have one. These are all the same. Yep. We are a fighter, so our strength is higher. Looks like I kind of went for pretty much, sort of flat statistics somewhat. Not really low in anything, basically no less than average, and not really even high strength or constitution. I don't know why I put my wisdom so high. Maybe something about common sense is what I was thinking there. I'm true neutral alignment at the moment. Apparently I've been playing for 7 hours. Not sure how that is. I wonder if that's real time or game time. Let's look at the journal screen. Well, I hope this doesn't bore you to death, but this is one way, I guess, for me to get re-caught up with what's been going on here. So, grab a drink and relax. Day 1. My original journal's gone missing, so I've started a new one. I woke up in a place called the mortuary. I don't know who I am, what I'm doing here, or even how I got here. The only person I encountered was a chattering skull called Mort. While he was checking my wounds, he discovered a set of directions tattooed on my back. Quote, I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of Styx wash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal that'll shed some light on the dark of the matter. Farod can fill you in on the rest of the chant if he's not in the dead book already. So apparently that was what was tattooed on my back, and Mort read it to me. Don't lose the journal or we'll be up the sticks again, and whoever you... Okay, this is continuation of that, I guess. Don't lose the journal or we'll be up the sticks again, and whatever you do, do not tell anyone who you are or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you, read the journal, then find Farod. Did I leave this message for myself? Looks like I'll need to find this Farod and my journal. Day 1. I met a sickly scribe named Dahl in the mortuary. He knew I had forgotten myself before I even spoke to him. Did I know him before I lost my memories? I was hoping to get some answers, but this place seems to breed more and more questions. Apparently Farod delivered my body here in a cart along with the heap of other corpses. Was I actually dead when he did this? Dahl told me that Farod can be found beyond the mortuary in some place called the Hive. He didn't seem to want me to go hunting for Farod, but then again, he's not the one who's lost his memories and woken up from the dead, so he can keep his opinions to himself. Dahl suggested I ask some of the people in the Hive where I can find Farod. I asked Dahl if he knew me, and he responded that he knew little about me and even less about the companions that had traveled with me in the past. Apparently their bodies lie in the mortuary. Perhaps seeing them will cause my memories to resurface. Dahl told me that one of the women who journeyed with me is interred in the memorial hall on the first floor of the mortuary. I met a dust woman embalmer named Aveen. Let's say Aveen, in the mortuary. In addition to her taloned hands and tallow-colored flesh, she was nearsighted and deaf and mistook me for a zombie. She ordered me to go find her a jar of embalming fluid and some needle and thread. I have a jar of embalming fluid. Well, let's read on here. And some needle and thread, presumably for stitching up the corpse on the table in front of her. There must be some around the mortuary somewhere, perhaps in one of the adjoining rooms. Apparently the dust woman embalmer I encountered is a tiefling, someone with fiendish blood in their veins. Apparently the fiendish blood warps their bodies and in some cases their minds as well. From what Mort said, it sounds like there are a number of tieflings about, which would imply a fair number of fiends as well. Watching Aveen stitch up the corpse with her talons triggered a second strange memory. I recall performing a similar operation on a corpse long ago, except that I think I was placing something inside its chest rather than taking something out. It felt like I was putting whatever it was in there so I could retrieve it later. In the memory, when I crossed my arms, the corpse itself crossed its arms as well. It had the number 42 written on its scalp. So we really need to find corpse 42, or whatever it should be called now. I delivered the embalming fluid and thread to Aveen. She didn't seem terribly grateful. After I delivered the embalming fluid and thread to Aveen, she stitched up my scars and applied the embalming fluid on my body. Strangely enough, it made me feel healthier. Okay. Kind of odd time to be looking at options, but I'm doing it. Tooltip delay. Mouse scrolling speed difficulty. Appears to be difficulty dead in the middle there. I guess that's activated there. We want all the gore we can get, right? The screen contains option to control the gameplay of the game. Move your mouse over a control to see a script. Oh. Oh, so these are sub sections. So to hit rolls are not enabled right now. Yeah, let's pause if we're hit, if we're injured. If we're dead, sure. If we're attacked, weapon is unusable, sure. Yeah, if the target is not available, dead or something moved out of range, I'm not sure. And into the combat round. This may get annoying, but I'm gonna be playing the cautious way. I shouldn't say to begin with, since I've played this before, but it's been so long. I'm pretty much beginning again from the. I'm not beginning from the beginning of the game, but I'm beginning in the sense of I don't remember how to do this anymore. Maybe we should glance at the keyboard mapping. Apparently, you can map keys to a lot of the items, which has not been done. There's quite a lot that hasn't been mapped, actually. I hope the audio levels are okay. I may check that shortly. Return